In all of reality, there is but one who could stand before the marauding forces of hell. One who fought with such ferocity that the demons themselves feared his coming. One who rose to become an instrument in the grand scheme of creation itself. When that instrument was no longer needed though, all will witness its true might, for not even the combined forces of heaven and hell can stop the Doomslayer. Gods had begun. Humanity had all players deep and challenging, different is less likely to get me horribly In the ancient times before the fall of Argent Danur, the people of the world were noble and just, pious and humble. Through this they gained the favour of a heaven that watched over them, a reality of noble beings desiring only to maintain balance in the multiverse. To reward the favour, the angels of heaven would descend and bestow the gift of a powerful holy energy source, one with which the chosen cultures may advance and one day touch their benefactors in heaven. The people of Argent Danur named the power source Argent Energy, and as intended, utilized it to spur their civilization forward, achieving technological leaps and bounds. The coming of Heaven's gift had sparked a golden age, and for a time the people of Argent Danur lived in peace and harmony. But over time, facets of their society began to want more. They saw their progress as too slow, and wanted to touch the heavens now, ascend not just to meet their benefactors, but join them as what they saw to be gods. To this end, they began to abuse the Argent Energy, conducting dangerous experiments and opening dimensional rifts in an attempt to find heaven, but instead, all they found was hell. The demons poured into Argent Danur and began assimilating the world into hell. The Knight Sentinels, brave warriors of Argent Danur, fought valiantly, but through the betrayal of one of their own, the world was eventually doomed. Having fallen from grace, heaven refused to save their once favoured, seeing it as fitting penance for their sins. They did, however, fear that the demons would capture the power gifted from heaven and use the energy to enhance hell's strength to the point where it may tip the scales of cosmic balance. Out of desperation, heaven sent a herald for Seraphim to find the disgraced Danurian, who wrought the final destruction of his world. The betrayer, having forsaken his true body and now merged with that of a fierce human warrior, was offered a gift of great speed and strength, as well as the chance of absolution and vengeance. All he had to do was lay waste to hell and prevent their use of Argent Energy. He readily agreed and marched through the umbral planes, bringing hell to its knees, with none, not even hell's most powerful titans, able to stop him. In time, this Hellwalker was tricked into a prison of cold stone, and his rampage was ended. Regardless, he had completed his task. Hell laid in ruins, and heaven no longer had any need for him. Despite Argent Energy still existing in the ruins of Danur, now entirely consumed by hell, and some demons managing to harness its power, heaven deemed that the scales of existence remained untipped, and so they withdrew. The power made a tempting prize though, and soon others, bold and foolhardy, would begin venturing to hell in search of it. Some of these brash explorers were humans, led by Samuel Hayden, a cyborg obsessed with finding an alternate energy source for Earth. They took the Argent Energy with impunity, believing it would solve all their problems, along the way uncovering the crypt of the legendary Doomslayer. Along with the Argent Energy and sarcophagus, they returned to the UAC base, not knowing what they would unleash. When hell naturally began to invade Mars, the Slayer was awoken and did what he always had. He ripped and tore until it was done. That foolish cyborg though, used the Slayer for his own ends, tossing him aside when he was done, and went back to trying to mine the energy of hell. But it would be his own downfall, as without the Slayer, hell overwhelmed Mars, and then continued on to Earth. Sooner or later the Slayer would return to finish the job he had started, but there were those who desired otherwise. Watching the whole affair unfold, heaven saw humanity's fate, a result of its own hubris and sin. They deemed that they must pay penance just as Argent Danur had. They demanded that the Slayer cease in his crusade, but the humans were no longer his to save. Regardless, he continued to rip and tear, and heaven finally decided they had to put this mad dog of their own creation down. It could never be that simple, however, for the Doomslayer had grown beyond the power of both heaven and hell, and if challenged would lay waste to both if it meant saving the innocents they were condemning. He was no longer an instrument of heaven's design. He was the Doomslayer. He would eviscerate anything that stood in his way, and if it came to it, he would form a cosmic balance of his very own, at the tip of a blade if need be. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and want to support the channel, then please consider subscribing and hit that bell so that YouTube might possibly inform you when a new video comes out. If you want to go that bit further, please feel free to support the channel on Patreon or go and buy some merchandise on Spreadshirt and Teespring. Links are all down in the description. Other than that, have a great day and I'll see you next time.